is a print by Ed Rocher. The title is New Wood, Old Wood, and actually, well, it refers to the passage of time, but in reality is like a play of words, a play of ideas, because even though if you really think in time, this half which looks new is not really new, it's old, because that's the way the wood existed first. And the new one is the old one. And because, after the time passed, it became like this. And what is interesting from the technical point of view is that these two pieces in a way are identical. They come from the same piece of wood. If you look carefully at the knots that each piece has, these pieces have the same DNA, but just the time went by and this one came from this. And this plays with the idea of the diptych. And this also, at the time Ed Rocher was doing these pieces, he was pairing two paintings. One painting that he had painted, let's say, 20 years ago of or urban landscape usually, and then after 20 years he went to the same spot and painted the same area, and you can feel how different or how similar they were after this time elapsed. Another irony of this print is that people usually associate that from wood you make paper, and this is the reverse. From paper we are making wood. This artwork is by Ed Rocher, and in this artwork he's revisiting a theme he dealt with in the past, which are the images of the gas stations. He did silk screens, photographs, oil paintings. He worked on this image in different techniques over the years. And in this last variation, taking advantage of the three-dimensional possibilities that our workshop can offer him, he decided to do a very low relief of the image, which basically depicts the lines of the image. It's almost, like a pencil drawing, very subtle image that really deals for, I think, with the essence of that image, and probably that's why he called it the ghost station. Now we are thinking, when we think prints, we may think about color, but another aspect of this print is that it has no color. It's just the very subtle relief, and yeah, that's it. This is a Mixographia by Rachel Whitery. Rachel, she's a very well-known English sculptor, and she's known for her sculptures, but in the last few years she had a retrospective of her drawings, and also at that show she showed a large collection of objects that she's been collecting over the years. And these drawings and objects she has used them as a source of inspiration or conception of her artworks, and we as the public, we just recently we got to know those. And this print relates probably to that collection of objects. when we approached her to do a project, she gave us a can that had been on a scrapyard for many years, being compressed by the trucks, the driving in that yard, and because one side of the can was against the floor and the other was exposed to the air, each side got oxidized or got a patina with each side has a different color. And what is interesting from this print is that we can claim that we can read it as a sculpture because we can see all the sides of the object at the same time. They are depicted in the print. And also this object doesn't deal with the negative space, but deals with the empty space. And probably that's why she called it squashed, because the space was removed from it. And it takes, some time. People have to really explore the print and in order to realize what's the past of this object. And that past also is a notion in her art.
Her work, yeah.
Yeah. So also because of the technique, we managed to represent very faithfully all the nuances and the qualities of the surface of the can, which make it more believable, because in a way it's very realistic, but it's just a piece of handmade paper at the